Built to Rise. Success Principles for Melanated People and People of African Descent. Written by Langston E. Hughes. Chapter 14. Building Institutions That Outlive You. Legacy is not what people say about you. Legacy is what still works after you are gone. A person can be admired and still leave no structure. They can be talented, loved, quoted, celebrated, stylish, gifted, and remembered, but if nothing remains that teaches, feeds, protects, funds, houses, archives, trains, heals, or organizes the next generation, then the legacy is incomplete. Memory matters. Honor matters. Stories matter. But legacy must become more than reputation. Legacy must become infrastructure. For melanated people and people of African descent, institution building is one of the highest forms of success. Too much of our genius has lived inside individual brilliance that was not protected by systems. A great teacher retires and the program disappears. A powerful elder dies and the history is lost. A business owner passes away and the children fight because there was no succession plan. A community leader burns out and the organization collapses. A family owns land but loses it because the title was unclear. An artist creates valuable work but leaves no archive. A church, mosque, temple, or cultural center depends on one personality and weakens when that person leaves. This is not because our people lack brilliance. It is because brilliance must be organized if it is going to survive. An institution is a structure that carries purpose beyond one person's mood, memory, charisma, or lifespan. It has a mission. It has people. It has records. It has rules. It has money practices. It has a way to train the next person. It has a way to repair problems. It has a way to preserve knowledge. It has enough structure to continue when the founder is tired, absent, aging, or gone. This chapter is about building what can outlive you. Events are not institutions. Events can matter. A conference can inspire. A concert can gather people. A workshop can teach. A fundraiser can support a need. A march can show public will. A festival can celebrate culture. A family reunion can reconnect generations. But an event is not the same as an institution. An event happens. An institution continues. An event can create emotion. An institution creates capacity. An event may gather people once. An institution gives people a place to return. An event can raise awareness. An institution can train, fund, govern, preserve, and repeat. Our communities do not need fewer meaningful events, but we need more structures behind them. If a financial workshop happens once, people may feel motivated. If a financial education institution exists, people can learn in stages, receive coaching, track progress, teach children, build credit, prepare for homeownership, and form investment circles. If a cultural festival happens once a year, people may celebrate. If a cultural archive exists, children can study year-round. If a business expo happens annually, vendors can network. If a business incubator exists, owners can receive training, contracts, bookkeeping support, capital readiness, and mentorship. Do not mistake gathering for building. Gathering is good. Building requires continuity. The institution-minded person asks different questions. Instead of only asking, "What can I do?" they ask, "What system can carry this work?" Instead of only asking, "How can I be successful?" they ask, "How can success become transferable?" Instead of only asking, "Who supports me?" they ask, "Who is being trained to continue?" Instead of only asking, "How do I solve this today?" they ask, "How do we prevent this problem from repeating?" Instead of only asking, "How do I remember my family?" they ask, "Where are the records, photographs, deeds, recipes, letters, stories, and documents preserved?" Instead of asking, "How do I make money?" they ask, "How does the money become an asset, fund, school, business, farm, scholarship, library, or trust?" The institution mind thinks in systems, not only moments. This kind of thinking is needed in every area: education, business, health, food, land, media, spiritual life, youth development, elder care, financial literacy, legal protection, arts and culture, family history, community safety. Institution building begins when a person refuses to let good work remain fragile. Real-world example, Tuskegee stands as an example of education becoming institution. Founded in 1881, it grew from a school into a long-lasting center of learning, training, research, professional development, and cultural memory. Its history includes teacher training, agriculture, trades, science, architecture, veterinary medicine, and aviation legacy. Whatever debates people may have about educational philosophy, one lesson is undeniable. A school can outlive the founder when it becomes an institution. Booker T. Washington was a visible leader, but Tuskegee did not remain only an extension of one personality. Buildings were constructed, teachers were trained, land was held, programs were created, students became professionals. Later leaders carried the work forward. The institution adapted across time. This is the difference between charisma and structure. Charisma may gather attention. Structure teaches generations. Tuskegee reminds us that education is one of the most important institutions a people can build. A school is never only a building with classrooms. It is a place where identity, standards, skills, history, discipline, and imagination are formed. Modern readers can ask, what are our children being trained to believe? Who controls the curriculum? Where do young people learn money, trades, technology, agriculture, health, history, language, and leadership? What community school, weekend academy, tutoring center, homeschool cooperative, apprenticeship program, scholarship fund, or reading circle could we build? What existing institution deserves support instead of everyone starting from zero? Every family may not be able to start a school, but every family can support education as institution. Buy books, fund tutoring, mentor students, preserve history, support teachers, create study spaces, reward reading, teach practical skills. Connect young people to elders and professionals. Make learning a family culture. Education is institution building in the mind. Land as legacy. Land is more than property. Land can be home, food, business, memory, burial ground, worship space, retreat space, farming, security, rental income, ecological stewardship, and inheritance. Land gives people somewhere to stand that is not entirely subject to someone else's permission. People of African descent have a complicated history with land. Stolen labor on land, forced removal from land, denied access to land, land purchased through sacrifice, land lost through violence, taxes, unclear titles, heirs, property issues, predatory schemes, and family conflict. Because of that, land must be handled with seriousness. If your family owns land, ask who is on the deed. Are taxes current? Is there a will or trust? Are heirs clear? Is the property insured? Is there a maintenance plan? Is there a business, farming, housing, conservation, or family use plan who has authority to make decisions? Do younger generations know the history and responsibilities? Land without paperwork can become conflict. Land without planning can become loss. Land without use can become burden. Land with structure can become legacy. If your family does not own land, do not let that become despair. Learn. Study local markets. Understand cooperative ownership. Learn about community land trusts. Explore family saving plans. Support land-based organizations. Learn agriculture, real estate, property law basics, zoning, taxes, and estate planning. The first step may be knowledge before purchase. Land must be protected by both love and legal structure. Real-world example. The Federation of Southern Cooperatives Land Assistance Fund. The Federation of Southern Cooperatives Land Assistance Fund offers a powerful example of institution building around land, cooperation, and rural economic power. Its mission centers on developing self-supporting communities through cooperative economic development, land retention, and advocacy. Its work includes cooperative development, land retention, estate planning education, and support for rural communities. This matters because land loss is not solved by speeches alone. It requires technical assistance, legal awareness, training, advocacy, cooperative structures, and patient support. The Federation's model teaches several lessons. First, land must be connected to education. People need to understand titles, heirs' property, taxes, conservation, farming, lending, and estate planning. Second, individual ownership and cooperative power can work together. A person may own land, but a cooperative can help producers process, market, distribute, purchase equipment, or negotiate more effectively. Third, rural communities deserve serious attention. Too often success is imagined only in urban, corporate, or digital terms. But land, food, farming, forestry, and rural enterprise remain central to long-term freedom. Fourth, institutions must provide services, not only inspiration. People need clinics, workshops, mediation, documents, financing pathways, advocacy, and ongoing support. The modern reader can ask what land is at risk in my family or community. Who knows the paperwork? What cooperative model could help producers or workers? What rural wisdom is being ignored? What food systems could we strengthen? What land-based skill should the next generation learn? Land is not only about ownership. It is about stewardship. Archives preserve power. If you do not preserve your story, someone else may distort it, forget it, or sell it back to you. Archives matter. An archive is a place or system where records are collected, organized, protected, and made available for memory, research, education, or legal use. Archives can be large public institutions, family boxes, digital folders, oral history projects, church records, business records, school histories, photo collections, land documents, letters, recipes, funeral programs, videos, recordings, and community newspapers. People of African descent need archives because too many records were never kept, were destroyed, were hidden, or were controlled by institutions that did not value our full humanity. A family archive might include birth certificates, marriage records, death certificates, land deeds, wills, photographs, military records, school records, business document, recipes, letters, oral histories, church or spiritual records, migration stories, medical history, names and nicknames, songs, funeral programs, newspaper clippings, digital files, record elders while they are living. Ask about names, places, migration, work, land, faith, food, music, love, loss, and lessons. Do not wait until the funeral to wish you had asked. Memory becomes institution when it is organized. Real-world example. The Schomburg Center in Harlem is a world-renowned archive and research center dedicated to preserving, studying, and sharing the history and cultures of people of African descent. It grew through the collecting vision of Arturo Alfonso Schomburg and the institutional support of the New York Public Library System. Schomburg's work began from a painful truth. People were often taught that people of African descent had no history worth studying. He answered that lie with evidence. He collected books, documents, art, and records that proved depth, genius, struggle, creativity, and global presence. The lesson is profound: archives fight erasure. A people with records can teach children differently. A people with documents can answer lies. A people with preserved art can study beauty. A people with letters and newspapers can reconstruct networks. A people with oral histories can hear ancestors speak. A people with archives can build institutions from memory instead of rumor. Every family cannot build a center like the Schomburg, but every family can begin archiving. Every church, mosque, temple, school, business, fraternity, sorority, lodge, association, and community group can preserve records. Every artist can organize work. Every elder can be recorded. Every child can learn the names. An archive is a future classroom. Businesses that outlive the founder. Many small businesses die with the founder. The founder knows the customers, passwords, vendors, pricing, process, recipes, relationships, tax issues, bank accounts, equipment, and informal agreements. But nothing is documented. No successor is trained. No operating manual exists. No legal structure protects the business. No one knows the finances clearly. When the founder gets sick, dies, burns out, or steps away, the business collapses. This is not legacy. This is fragility. To build a business that can outlive you, create structure, clear legal entity, separate business bank account, bookkeeping system, tax support, written contracts, documented processes, customer list, vendor list, password management, insurance, training manuals, brand assets, intellectual property protection, succession plan, emergency plan, financial reports. Leadership development. If you own a business, ask, could someone run this for 30 days without me? Could someone understand the money? Could someone serve customers at our standard? Could my family sell, continue, or transfer the business if needed? What exists only in my head? The answer to that last question shows where the institution is weak. Funds and financial structures. A legacy can take the form of a fund. A fund does not need to begin large. It needs a purpose and structure. Possible funds: family emergency fund, scholarship fund, business seed fund, burial fund, youth travel fund, medical support fund, land tax fund, elder care fund, book fund, tool fund, community repair fund, mutual aid fund. The key is clarity. Who contributes? Who manages it? Where is it held? What is the purpose? Who qualifies? How are decisions made? What records are kept? What happens if someone misuses funds? How often is the fund reviewed? Small funds can teach financial governance. They can also prevent emergencies from becoming chaos. Over time, a fund can grow into a nonprofit, scholarship, foundation, giving circle, community development fund, or investment structure with professional guidance. Money becomes legacy when it is organized for a purpose beyond impulse. Governance is love with rules. People often resist governance because it sounds formal. But governance is how an institution makes decisions, manages resources, handles conflict, and protects the mission. Governance answers who decides, who advises, who keeps records, who handles money, who is accountable, how are leaders chosen, how are leaders removed, how are conflicts resolved, how are policies changed, how is the mission protected. Without governance, institutions become personality-driven. The loudest person wins. The founder controls everything. Money becomes unclear. Conflict becomes gossip. Succession becomes a crisis. Trust breaks down. Governance is not bureaucracy for its own sake. It is protection. A family council is governance. A board is governance. A written partnership agreement is governance. A cooperative's bylaws are governance. A church finance committee is governance. A business operating agreement is governance. A meeting agenda with minutes is governance. If you want something to outlive you, give it rules strong enough to carry love through disagreement. Succession and apprenticeship. An institution survives when knowledge is transferred. This requires apprenticeship. Do not wait until you are tired to train someone. Train while you still have strength. Let someone shadow you, explain decisions, write instructions, give small responsibilities, allow mistakes at manageable levels, correct with patience. Increase responsibility over time. Apprenticeship can happen in business, farming, cooking, construction, music, ministry, healing arts, teaching, finance, community organizing, archiving, technology, family leadership. Children should not only inherit finished products, they should inherit processes. Teach them how the garden works, how the business runs, how bills are paid, how documents are stored, how elders are cared for, how meetings happen, how repairs are made, how conflicts are resolved, how prayers are led, how songs are sung, how recipes are prepared, how land is maintained, how records are kept. Succession is not only choosing the next leader. It is preparing the next steward. Institutions need maintenance. Starting is exciting. Maintaining is mature. Many people love launches, fewer love maintenance. But institutions need maintenance minutes. Budgets, repairs, training, policy updates, taxes, insurance, cleaning, fundraising, conflict resolution, technology updates, leadership development, community communication, evaluation, archives, rest. Do not despise maintenance. Maintenance is how legacy stays alive. A school must maintain curriculum, staff, safety, buildings, records, and funding. A farm must maintain soil, equipment, water, and market relationships. A business must maintain customers, books, quality systems, and staff. A family must maintain relationships, documents, property, health, and traditions. A cultural archive must maintain climate control, metadata, access, and preservation. Greatness is often kept alive by ordinary tasks done faithfully. The institutional blueprint. If you want to build an institution, begin with a blueprint. Name the need. What problem should this institution address? Name the people served. Who is this for? Name the mission. What is the institution responsible to do? Name the form. Is it a business, nonprofit, cooperative, family council, fund, archive, school, farm, media platform, association, or informal project that may later formalize? Name the resources. What money, people, space, tools, knowledge, relationships, and documents are needed? Name the governance. Who decides? Who advises? How are records kept? How is money handled? Name the first service. What will it do first in a simple, repeatable way? Name the training pathway. How will others learn to carry the work? Name the sustainability plan. How will this be funded, maintained, and evaluated? Name the legacy plan. How can this survive leadership transition? Do not begin with everything. Begin with the smallest version that can serve well and repeat. What existing institutions should you support? Not everyone needs to start something new. Sometimes the most powerful move is to strengthen an existing institution that already serves well. Ask what schools are already doing good work. What farms or food projects need support? What archives need donations or volunteers? What youth programs need mentors? What businesses need customers and systems? What faith institutions are serving with integrity? What cooperatives need members? What local media needs subscribers? What scholarship funds need contributions? What elders are already holding knowledge? Starting new work can be exciting, but fragmentation can weaken communities. If 10 people start 10 small projects that duplicate one another, all may struggle. If those 10 people combine around one strong institution with clear governance, something more durable may emerge. Ego asks, how can I have my own? Legacy asks, what needs to be built and what role should I play? Sometimes you are the founder. Sometimes you are the funder. Sometimes you are the teacher. Sometimes you are the volunteer. Sometimes you are the board member. Sometimes you are the record keeper. Sometimes you are the bridge to the next generation. All honorable roles do not come with a spotlight. The family institution, the family itself, can become an institution. This does not mean a family becomes rigid or formal in every moment. It means the family has practices that carry values across time. Create a family history archive, a yearly family meeting, a shared emergency fund, a scholarship tradition, a family reading list, a health challenge, a land and property file, a birthday savings ritual for children, a yearly ancestor remembrance, a family business directory, a conflict repair process, a care plan for elders, a college trade or apprenticeship support plan, a digital folder for important documents, a family cookbook, a family service day. The family institution does not have to be wealthy to begin. It needs intention. A family that meets once a year to discuss history, health, money, children, property, and purpose is already ahead of many. The goal is to make legacy normal. This week's work, this chapter becomes real when legacy becomes structure. Set aside 2 hours this week and complete the following. Identify one institution your family or community needs most: school, fund, archive, business, land project, cooperative, health group, media platform, youth program, or family council. Identify one existing institution you can support instead of starting from scratch. Create or update a family document folder with deeds, wills, insurance, account information, birth records, business documents, and key contacts where applicable. Record one elder, family member, or community leader telling a story that should not be lost. Write a simple institutional blueprint using the 10 questions in this chapter. Identify one person younger than you who should be trained in a skill, story, process, or responsibility. Choose one maintenance task that protects legacy: taxes, insurance, minutes, file organization, beneficiary review, password organization, property upkeep, or archive backup. Legacy is not built only by grand gestures. It is built by organized care repeated over time. Declaration: I will not let my gifts disappear when my season changes. I choose to build, support, and protect institutions that can teach, feed, fund, archive, train, heal, house, and organize beyond my individual life. I will preserve records, prepare successors, respect governance, support existing structures, and turn memory into infrastructure. My legacy will be more than what people say about me. It will be what still works because I cared enough to organize it. Closing thought: the 14th law of melanated success is this: build what can outlive your applause. Applause fades, attention moves, trends change, bodies age, founders step aside, but institutions can continue. A school can teach children not yet born. A farm can feed families after the first planter is gone. A fund can open doors for students who never met the giver. An archive can answer lies a century later. A business can employ descendants. A family council can protect property. A cooperative can keep land productive. A spiritual institution can comfort generations. This is legacy with bones. Do not only seek to be remembered. Build something worthy of being continued.